Good morning from the Glen, and welcome here to Go or Go Home qualifying for the first race of the round of eight for the 2025 edition of the WRA Oreo Cup Series. Before we find out the scenarios going into today's race here at Watkins Glen, we're going to find out, first of all, who will be the drivers that will race their way into this weekend's race here at Watkins Glen. It is the GoBowling.com at the Glen. And we already got our first cars rolling out on the track, the 33 of Sandy Stewart being one of those cars. I believe this is our. So I'm going to take a look at the schedule here before I jinx myself or forget. This is our last road course race of the season. So it'll be the final time we'll have the road course ringers in the series. This will also be the last, or no, Sandy Stewart will be at Charlotte. That'll be the final race of the season, the championship race. And of course, she starts her first official time lap. Kyle Langland's already put a lap time, but that's because his pit stall was behind the start finish line, so it will be his first official timed lap. This is a 2.45 mile road course. And this will be the final time we're running a road course race with no cautions. As Sandy Stewart right behind Kelsey Higdon. First lap time for her is a 1:13.4040. And that is the lap time to beat. Well, Kyle Langland went a little quicker, a 1:12.580. Sam Tinley a 1:13.1. Cheyenne Burchard goes second quickest. 15 minutes on the clock. Desiree Voyle is now sixth quickest. That's her first time lap. And now we're starting to get times on the board for the drivers that need to make the show on time. I think if you're running like the 112s, like maybe a 3 or a 4, that could get you into the race this afternoon. Brianna Knight second quickest. Leo Hill a 6:18 to a 6:09. Tatum Wright now on the bubble, and she's already been beaten by Crystal Fontaine and Amy Perrett. Lana Aurora, 12:408, puts her third quickest. Gator Racing, 12:423. Sandy Stewart now on the bubble. Kyle Langland, 1:11.890. That's a fast lap. he gets closer to a 110, that would be an extraordinary lap. Kyle Langland has not made, as I'm getting messaged by somebody on Discord, which I'm going to not look at Discord right now. I will deal with that later, not right this second. And looks like the 84 goes to the top of the timesheets. That's Elena Rohr, because both Elena Rohr and Kyle Langland are teammates at World NOS Racing. Annie Thomas just made it a 1-2-3 for the World NOS Racing drivers, a 1:11.889. An extraordinary lap for that 80, or that 50 ride, excuse me, from Team Amerivet. Carolina Bradley, 5th quickest. Now Annie Thomas now on the bubble. Isaac Willis, 4th quickest. As there's the Carvana Toyota Camry SXE of Elena Aurora. And also Lizette Armstrong in the 53, 2nd quickest. There she is, a 1:11.803. For the Bumpers for Life Ford Mustang Dark Horse. Lizette and Dana Monroe's been struggling trying to make races as a rookie. Lizette Armstrong will be moving over to Rick Ware Racing in the number 51 machine. That was rumored today. She was going to go to Rick Ware Racing, but she instead will be moving over to Trackhouse Motorsports next season. To be teammates with Sean Art. Sean will be in the 99. Lizette Armstrong will drive the number 1 machine in the Oreo Cup Series next season. And Lizette Armstrong will have a full-time ride to showcase her talent, even though she's been running on a limited schedule. And if Lizette doesn't make any more races between now and then, she'll still be under the Rookie of the Year situation because she's only ran less than 7 starts. Of course, that was announced today, by the way, because we thought Lizette Armstrong was going to go to Rick Ware Racing. Was announced she's going to Trackhouse, so happy for her. She's going to go full time next season. Let's find Dana Monroe. There she is, 21st quickest. Been struggling trying to make races in this number 98 machine. And of course, remember, Ingrid Pollard will be the 3rd driver out of Trackhouse Racing next season because remember she's been missing races too many. She's been missing too many races as far as starts are concerned. Speaking of Ingrid Pollard, there she is. She'll be full time in that ride next season, the 88. 5 minutes left to go in the session. Dana Monroe was announced today that she will be moving over to Hendrick Motorsports next season. Chris Washer, who currently drives for Hendrick Motorsports, will be leaving that team at the end of the season. Not sure what William Ayers is doing for next season as far as whether he's going to stay with Hendrick. And I haven't heard if Alexander Dawson is also going to stay at Hendrick Motorsports next season. I know Dana Monroe is the one who's moving to Hendrick. She'll be driving the number 5 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet next season in the Oreo Cup Series. Which, as I said before, I'm happy for her. Ashlyn Wright. There's Trinity Lee in the 75. Trinity and Ashlyn. Trinity Lee will be moving over to 2311 Racing, that number 35 that's in the field, as you see Kaylee Rankin go in the pit road, that Kevin Joseph's in. Trinity Lee will be moving over to 2311 Racing next season to drive the number 35 Toyota Camry SXE, sponsored by Monster Energy. She will be paired up with Maddie Crenshaw and Monica Towns, believe it or not. So very excited for Trinity Lee going full-time in the Oreo Cup Series next season. Ashlyn Wright was announced today. She'll be going full-time in the Red Bull GT Series in Season 4, along with her sister Tatum. That was also announced today. Trinity Lee will also be back with Addison Peterson, who will also be full-time in the Oreo Cup Series for next season, although I don't know what ride she'll be driving, as there's some skid marks in turn number 7. So it will be Lee, Aurora, Ponzo Albanese is also going to be full-time next season in the Red Bull GT Series, or returning to the Red Bull GT Series, as Shelton just getting into Tatum Wright. Speaking of Tatum Wright, who's currently 33rd quickest. Katie Waters, by the way, this week's driver of the 55 for Tricon, which, by the way, Tricon was announced they're going to be attempting the Daytona, going to attempt every race next season. They don't know if it will be with It's also going to be interesting to see how many drivers for my group's going to be racing. Of course, you know, Addison Peterson's going to be in that series. I know Trinity Lee ran this past season the Red Bull GT Series. Lizette Armstrong and Dana Monroe are also going to be full-time in the Red Bull GT Series for